Travel, what does that entail for you? For me, travel entails meeting people. Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. But today I wanted to come on here and share a bit about my travel history, because quite frankly I've been traveling for a very long time, much longer than just the last couple of years. So let's take it from the top. I think my wanderlust began when I was a teenager, because I remember I had a shoe company and I was in charge of sales and distribution, and so I traveled quite a bit, crisscrossing the country, trying to find customers for my shoes, and I'd go from shop to shop, and then I'd have to come and make the deliveries, and I'd have to come back later and do the inventory and things like that. So I was already traveling back when I was a teenager. I must have been around 18. And then again, when I worked, of course that involved traveling, and I'd go to member states and make presentations. So I was crisscrossing my way across member states of the European Union again. So it's only natural that when it came time for me to consider switching careers, I ended up doing what I do currently. I love to travel, and what does that mean for me? Travel for me just means meeting people. So my current setup is such that my job involves me going to Europe on a weekly basis. So you'll find me in Amsterdam on any given day, weekend, weekday. You'll find me occasionally in South America. You'll find me discovering the United States. And I love to travel because of all the people that I meet. This is a challenge that I took upon myself. I had decided at some point that relationships are what really matter in life. The relationships that we form, the friendships that we make, our interactions with other people, and I wanted to spend the remainder of my life doing just that. I wanted to get into a career that would allow me to do that, and I wanted to involve myself with things that would give me exposure to new people, new places, new cultures, new activities. And so I travel so I can discover. As far as I'm concerned, travel is a cure for many things. It's definitely a cure for a wandering soul, a wandering spirit. Some of us are always looking for the next adventure, and traveling really does a good job of keeping us occupied as we skip from city to city, continent to continent, state to state. It's one of the activities that is so rejuvenating. It gives you a new perspective in life. You get to see it from a point of view that you had never imagined before. So travel ends up opening your mind. It removes bigotry. It removes, like Mark Twain said, it's fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. There is no faster way to open up your mind than when you travel and you experience other cultures, you experience other people, you experience places and events and activities that you certainly wouldn't had you stayed at the same place. I do recognize not everybody gets the opportunity to travel. Traveling and reading a book really can give the same experience, because I remember being a young girl and I would just get lost in books. I would adventure along with the book characters. So that is another way of traveling. If you can't really get there physically, then get there mentally. And when I'm traveling, I make sure I immerse myself fully in the culture. Life is experienced best when you actually go all in, as opposed to holding anything back. When you want to experience something, amongst travelers, we have two phrases that we use when you're traveling. You can either go high tower or you can go native. Now when you go high tower, it means you're doing the hotels and you're doing the touristy stuff. But when you're going native, it means you're actually mixing in with the locals and you're getting to know what they really eat. You're getting to know the back streets. You're getting to know some of these places that you can't even find on a map. Therein lies the richness of the travel experience. It's okay whichever way you want to do it, and sometimes you do have to do a bit of both. I mean, I always go to a hotel, so that's part of ivory towering it. But then I go native because once I leave the hotel for the day, I just want to mix in with the locals. I want to find out their dishes, their customs, their cultures, their traditions, what it is that they do, what they enjoy doing, and that's what traveling is all about for me. And a great part of travel is also the going away and the coming back. And when you come back, you've got a fresh appreciation for these things that you'd otherwise take for granted, like getting back to your comfy bed. These are some of the comforts that travel affords. It also influences how you view things. It influences things like the interiors of your home, because you end up seeing different hotels every single time you travel. You end up seeing different ways of setup, and that I think is opening to the mind, so that you realize that there isn't just one way of doing it. There's several ways of doing things, and there's no right or wrong way. It's all about the preference. So I found this poem that, to me, it just fits perfectly with how I experience traveling. It's called The Men That Don't Fit In, and it was written by Robert Service in 1907. There's a race of men that don't fit in, a race that can't stay still. So they break the hearts of kith and kin, and they roam the world at will. They range the field and they rove the flood, and they climb the mountain's crest. Theirs is the curse of the gypsy blood, and they don't know how to rest. They're always tired of the things that are, and they want the strange and new. He's a rolling stone and a bread to the bone. He's a man who won't fit in. Travel has afforded me such a richness in life in terms of destinations that I have been to, and all the people that our paths have crisscrossed, all the cultures that have intermingled, all the new things I have learned from others. There is no duplicating this experience, this type of a life, unless you go out and do it yourself, or like I said, you read it in books. Either way, it's definitely an experience worth having in this lifetime. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye. I am no longer bonded to a locality, the habitat of a confine. I free myself into world spaces. Vastness is in my adventure. I'm a world person, a sky plainsman, a maker of spirit trails. This is by Muriel Strode in 1921.